Hey, so this is kind of awkward. I'm sitting down editing this video, and I just came across a post that Against the Current is no longer doing Sad Summerfest this year. So like that kind of makes this series awkward because we're talking about them being in Sad Summerfest and they're not. So just wanted to clear that up. We're not idiots. We just didn't know when we recorded this that they had dropped out. Yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoy the video. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Battle of the Bangers Season 4. I am your host. My name is Tyler, and of course, as always, I am joined by the boys. We have Brennan.
What's going on, folks?
And we have Kyle rocking the Schoolhouse Rock t-shirt that I just cannot get over the fact that you own, and I'm jealous and confused.
It's Conjunction Junction, baby.
Hell yeah. So today, I'm sure you've already looked at the title of this video, and you kind of have an idea of what's going on. Season 4, we're basing around a little event, a little tour that's happening right around now. It's called Sad Summerfest. You might have heard of it. It's like a pseudo replacement for Warped, but it's like nowhere near as big or good, and it's exclusively pop punk bands. Brennan and I went to the first one. It was a good old time. I also went last year with my girlfriend at the time. Both great times. This year, we have been gifted a whole new slate of bands that are going to be performing across the country for everyone who attends. Probably not us this year, but other people. And I thought it'd be fun if we just took the top 8 of those bands, or the top 7, and the top something, and a few other ones that we threw in because they ended up being more than 8. They just added more bands like yesterday too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, Hot Milk's in now. They weren't when we made this bracket. But anyway,
Sorry.
We're looking at the bracket right now. You can see we have 8 beautiful pop punk bands here that are going to duke it out to be crowned the ultimate champion of Sad Summerfest 2022. All of our takes are completely objective and will be the truth. So whoever wins this is just definitively the king of pop punk this year. Unquestionably no contest.
No pressure.
So today, we got what's usually the blowout match of the century. 1st seed versus 8th seed. This time we have Against the Current versus Magnolia Park. And I will say, I think this might be the first time we've ever had a first match that was not a complete and total bloodbath. Usually, episode 1 of a season is so uninteresting and pointless because it's just one thing murdering another thing. I think... Like, in my eyes, I think there's a definitive winner, but, like, I think both of these are both good bands. They both have good takeaways. It's gonna be a clean fight, I think. So, we're gonna jump right into it. What band do we want to talk about first? Any takers?
1st seed, baby. Number 1.
1st seed? All right.
Yeah.
Let's dive into Against the Current.
Speaking of 1st seed, how'd you come up with the seedings, Tyler?
Oh, that's a good point that I probably should have brought up. I seeded them based on monthly listeners. So 1st seed having the most monthly listeners on Spotify, last seed having the least. And Against the Current has the biggest lead over everything. I mean, Neck Deep is 2nd seed, and Against the Current has over 1 million more monthly listeners than them, which is shocking to me.
Yeah.
I guess when you do a song for League of Legends, that kind of just bolsters your fame to
That
an
might have
unhealthy
done it.
degree.
Yeah, I think that's literally the only reason why they are this high.
Probably. They are very good though, because I do like them. I never really listened to them before. Actually until the State Champs album that we reviewed, and Chrissy, the lead singer, had a vocal feature on one of the songs, and I was like, oh, she has a really good voice. I wonder what she's from. And then she's from Against the Current. I was like, I've heard of them. I've never listened to them, and I like them a good deal. I think that they're a very good band, especially their last couple albums. I think that they're very, very tasty. Their earlier stuff didn't grab me quite as much, which is kind of a trend I have with a lot of bands on this list, honestly.
Fair.
I tend to like the newer works better than the older works, but I want to hear what you guys think about this band? Brendan, you have like a smirk of like, these guys fucking suck and I want to rip into them. So I want to let you go first.
Oh, God.
I don't think they suck. I do actually really like the League of Legends track. It's called Legends Never Die. But their album, I mean, it really is just a glorified EP. Let's call it what it is. It's called Fever. Actually has a couple of really good tracks on it. I'm talking about like Weapon and Jump. And there's like another one that's not coming to the top of my head. But I think they're really solid. I think that the League of Legends track is probably why they're the 1 seed. And I think in reality they'd probably be more like 4 or 5 had it not been for that. But still, I mean, they're very solid. I think they're the only band in this bracket that has a female vocalist.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a differing factor. But all in all, just really solid band. I don't think they really do anything crazy or flashy or anything, but they don't really have anything going against them, I feel. So
right. Against
pretty
them.
Solid band.
Nice. Kyle, what do you think about this band?
I mean, pretty similar to Brendan, honestly. Overall, I think that kind of going off what you just said, I think these are like 2 of the most unique sounding bands in the whole bracket, right against each other right off the bat. Whereas Magnolia Park's lead singer is he's got a pretty unique voice for the pop punky genre, and then you obviously have Chrissy Costanza. So I don't know. I thought that was a cool little matchup there. But again, as far as Against the Current goes, I mean Chrissy Costanza is phenomenal. She is absolutely incredible. Yeah. Going back, like it was funny because like I kind of like grabbed like a couple songs from like each album through time, and like you really could like hear her find her own like throughout them all. And that is a trend you find in most music, as most bands in this. But it was really cool, like just going from like what's the album's called?
I'm really bad with the album names.
Yeah, I know. I don't. I just because I don't really listen to them a ton, so I had to look at that. In Our Bones, listen to In Our Bones. There are songs like Forget Me Now and Wasteland and stuff where like she sounds fantastic, but I don't think she ever like goes like crazy. But then you have songs like Weapon on like the newest glorified EP, if you want to call it that. I think it's pretty. I think it's a pretty rad album. Songs like Weapon, where she like completely like flips up into like a higher head tone and just like really kind of dances around her notes, and they sound so fucking good. Like it was. I started at an earlier time, thought they were good, and then they got better, and I was like, this is the best case scenario. I love this.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really, really like hear her growth from album to album. That was something that like was really apparent to me. And then like going back, like once you get to the current stuff and you go back to the current stuff, these puns,
we're just on point today.
Coming up on accident.
What the hell?
But you get to the past stuff and you can just tell like, oh wow, like she really has progressed just like an absolute ton, and that just makes me respect her like even more. I would go as far as to say, in my personal opinion, I think she's the best vocalist on this entire bracket.
Hell yeah. I'm here for it. I'm honestly here for it.
There's definitely a worst, but we'll get to that as well.
Yes. There's definitely a worst. And I hope that we're all on the same page with that. Because there's a worst.
Could you imagine
we jump into them today?
We jump into state champs. I'm like, oh, finally.
Fuck you, Derek. You really suck.
No. But, yeah, no, I think, like, overall, I think the cool thing that, like, catches me against the current is they managed to like ride the line of like kind of hitting like a poppier style at times, like really feeling like that pop influence, and then like immediately you get a song like In Our Bones. There was the song Runaway where it's got like a kind of like a funky bass line going on in it, and I was just like, they can do anything. Like they're so good at what they do. They kind of like lean different ways around the pop punk genre. The instrumentals are always absolutely crazy, because that's something I noticed too, like as like researching all these bands. There are other times than other bands I'm just like, these instrumentals are playing like 4 notes in the verses. Like, I was like, this isn't gripping me. But Against the Current's one of the bands where every single song I'm getting a fucking experience. I fucking love it. I love it.
Because I think that like, especially on Past Lives, like the second album, there were a lot of tracks on there that just had like really funky like riffs, and they just tried a lot of different things. Like Voices, I think, is the one that had like the really cool like riff at the beginning and stuff. And then I think Fuss was the one that was just like really weird and like really out there, but it just like worked. And I'm like, man, like these guys just they're definitely, I would say they're more pop centric than like punk centric if we're measuring it on the scale. But I think that they do it in a way that they keep it fresh and it doesn't sound like top 40 pop, which is not what you want. Like they have a very unique flair to it, which is why I think they're successful. I will say in this matchup, I would say Against the Current is more pop. Magnolia Park is probably the opposite. They're more on the punk spectrum. But let's talk about them a little bit. Brennan, what do you think about Magnolia Park?
Yeah, they're all right. I mean, they have one song that's obviously like pretty good in my opinion. That's 10 for 10. I mean, some other, like on that album, it's called Halloween Mixtape. They do have like some pretty good tracks. But all in all, I mean, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. They're more of like a punk kind of band, while Against the Current's more poppy. Honestly, I think this matchup, I think you're right in the fact that it is like closer than it should be, being a 1 versus an 8 seed. But I mean, Magnolia Park, they're all right. I see them a lot on TikTok. They're obviously like getting bigger. Hopefully that equates itself to like more listens and all that good stuff. I'd like to see them like 3 years from now. Like, where are they going to be at that point? And then I agree. Yeah, then I think like once we get to that point, that's when we're going to really see like what this band really is. Because I think for now it's kind of early to tell if they're like amazing or not.
Yeah, I agree with that like wholeheartedly. Like they're a band that I like, but I would not say that they've like peaked yet at all.
No.
They're very early in their career still, and like I wouldn't say their stuff is like samey, but like they really don't push the envelope much in a lot of ways. Like a lot of the stuff they make is very safe. And it works, it's effective, but I would like to hear, like they haven't released many songs that have really like caught me, there's a few like on the Halloween mixtape one, like Liar's probably my favorite one, but like I can't even name a lot of specific tracks from them because I feel like a lot of the tracks just kind of blend together a little bit, in my opinion, which is making this sound like a very one-sided affair, but I do think that they deserve credit for just like existing. I don't think that they're getting just murdered by Against the Current, but
you know what? I'll save you. Don't worry, because I really like Magnolia Park a lot. I think I was really excited that they were in this bracket. When I realized they're against the Current, I was like, "Fuck!" They could have definitely. The comparison in my mind when I was looking at the bracket and seeing them in it, it reminded me of Wolf and Bear in the what was that season that we did the Swan bracket?
Yeah.
We're like Wolf and Bear. I'm really excited to see what they do in the future, because right now they're really good, and I feel like they have so much room to grow, and they could just like absolutely fucking pound in the scene. And that's exactly what I feel about Magnolia Park. They're super great with the pop punk stuff. The Halloween mixtape has super cool, just outright pop punk stuff. Definitely lean a little more punk, like you said. I like that they try shit. They've got like some cool like electronic like altering that like you can tell they're just having fun with it. It's just really just awesome. And then their newest EP, Heart Eater, I actually really liked it. It kind of felt like it had some more like hip hop influence in it a bit.
Oh yeah, times. Yeah.
And it was really cool. And I think that a band that's willing to do this kinds of things, like especially if they run with this kind of style, while I can agree, like especially that like Heart Eater, there are times where it feels like a bit samey and things blend together at times. I'm curious to see if they run with this style, because in my mind, this is awesome for the scene and pop punk genre in general. Like to have a band that already has as many listeners as do, which I can't remember, monthly listeners, and they're growing on TikTok, like you said, it's just so cool. I hope they continue to grow and just keep up with what they're doing, having as much fun they're having with it, because every time you see them on TikTok, they're just having a blast. Yeah. And just kind of infusing like a hip hop corner of pop punk a bit. I think that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that is like the big standout feature of that band that kind of sets them apart from a lot of other pop punk bands, is they have that like hip hop trap like influence mixed into some of their songs. They haven't leaned into it like super hard like Stand Atlantic did on their last album, that I think was like really what pushed that album to the edge. I would like to see them kind of go even harder in that direction. I think it'll work well for them in the long run and help them to kind of like break out a little bit more. But again, we'll have to see. Like we're all very much in the same boat of like, I think this band is going to be great, but right now they're okay. And it's a shame that they got put up against the Current in round 1, because I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say that we're going to unanimously vote for against the Current to.
Unfortunately. I mean, like, not unfortunately, but like, it's just, I really wish Magnolia Park had gone up against a different band. There are a couple bands that I really feel like it could have beaten and like kind of had gone on a little run, and that would have been awesome for them. But I think just mad respect to them and what they're doing, and I'm absolutely, like we said, awesome. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do in the future. It's gonna be dope.
Hell yeah. Brennan, any final words before we put them in the grave?
I think this is just how this was gonna go.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, if we redid this like 3 years from now, I think Magnolia Park would definitely have a stronger argument. But
I still don't think they'd win though, because I mean, against the Current is just such a powerhouse. Like, I don't know.
Because if you think about it, you're also giving against the Current 3 years to see what they come out with.
Like,
and I just think against the Current's just a better band. So.
I agree. I agree. So it's unanimous. Against the Current is moving on to the semifinals. Magnolia Park, unfortunately, just getting smacked in the back of the head with a shovel. And it is what it is. It's hard to compete with against the Current. We'll see if anybody is able to take them down. Who knows? You'll have to tune in and see if that ends up happening. And if you'd like to do that, then make sure you subscribe to the Talks a Lot Boys and ring the bell to get notified when future episodes of this series go up. Make sure you like this video if you did like it, because that really does help out a lot. And let us know in the comments below, do you agree with our take here? Do you think that Against the Current is the superior band, or are you a Magnolia Park stan? Are you furious at us for just ending their run here? Let us know in the comments below. We would love to hear it. Next time we will be discussing just a crazy matchup that I can't believe is in the first round. Mayday Parade versus State Champs. What the fuck?
Whoa.
I don't even know how that one's gonna go, but we're gonna do it next time. So we have been the Talks a Lot Boys, and we will talk a whole lot more next time. See you later.